Okay, you retro gamers out there. If you remember the days back in the 80s and 90s where you would go to the local arcade and save up all your quarters from washing cars or paper routes or whatever you did. Maybe you stole some from the local water fountain, wishing well, if you will, like the Goonies. And you went to the arcade and you played the hell out of some Asteroids or Rampage or whatever your arcade had, or maybe it was just a local Circle K gas station or whatever. This might be just something you might be into. It seems the folks at arcade1up.com have been able to create standing up arcades from yesteryear. And these look incredibly awesome. I saw these and I immediately wanted all of them, and I shared the link to a coworker, and he immediately wanted all of them as well, and he ended up getting Street Fighter, and I wanted Street Fighter, so we both got Street Fighter. But check this out. So they're basically just stand up arcades. They're not full size like we're used to back in the day. They're about 3/4 size. So if you buy a lift, you can stand up, but most likely you'll be sitting down playing. But that's okay. And they're very easy to put together. In fact, I'll post the link below, and they actually have a video on how these things are put together. It's not your old school one where it required a 50-pound CRT television. It's basically an LCD screen, a bunch of wood panels, very easy to put together, and very budget priced for us normal folks out there that can't afford a normal stand up game that's $3,000 or $4,000. Anyway, so let's take a look. So the first one, there's a cabinet with asteroids. It also has Lunar Lander, Tempest, basically a bunch of your old school Atari games. There's one more, and I can't read it unfortunately. And then on the second cabinet, this one's more for your trackball based games. You have Centipede, Missile Command, Crystal Castles, and Millipede. I remember playing Centipede and Missile Command for hours and hours on end back when I was in grade school. You could not get me away from Centipede or Missile Command. Those games were just awesome. And then in our center cabinet here on the screen, we have Rampage, Gauntlet, and Joust. And that was another stage. I remember being in junior high playing Rampage like no tomorrow. I remember the movie just came out, brought back memories. But Gauntlet, I used to play forever. I used to play either the Wizard or the Elf. I think I preferred the Elf because I could shoot everybody from far away. But that was like your typical just grind all day, and that was one of the very first quarter munchers out there, sort of like Rampage, where your guy dies and you just throw another quarter and come back and kill some more bad guys, or Rampage you just kill everybody or eat them. And then Joust, I wasn't a huge fan of Joust. I wasn't very good at it, but that's where you're on a huge bird, looks like an ostrich if you will, and you fly around landing on top of the other guys and picking up the eggs. So that was, I mean, I would beat the first 2 or 3 levels, and then after that, that was it for me. I could never last that long on that game. And then we have the arcade game that made arcades millions of dollars. You have the Champion Edition Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition. Now, I could go into a long story about when I went to the arcade in high school in 1991, and there was a group of guys, uh, surrounded this game called Street Fighter 2. And then, months later, they had the Champion Edition and, the Turbo Edition, and there was just a ton of people surrounded. This game was basically printed money. Probably, you know, there are people living in mansions right now based off of this game. Whoever created this game and programmed it, he's living high on the hog forevermore because he's living on a pile of quarters of American quarters. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a quarter shortage because of this game. Anyway, Street Fighter 2 was just awesome when I was a kid. And here we are, Street Fighter 5 is, out and kicking. And, you have all these e-gamers and, guys making thousands of dollars off of it. This is where it all started, Street Fighter 2. And then the final one, and I won't say it's final because there's actually one more, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But you have this Final Fight cart, which had the original Final Fight, as well as 1944. That's actually an airplane game, last I remember. Ghosts and Goblins, which is incredibly hard but was incredibly fun. And then you have Strider. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Strider, that was an incredibly fun game back in the 90s. That one right there, I wish they had some of the more fighting games that Capcom produced that never really got moved over to the home consoles. They had its own version of like Punisher, and then Capcom released like Alien versus Predator. I wish maybe this arcade had a lot of those, and I'm pretty sure they had issues with licensing and all that. But it would have been really cool to see those games because they never made it to the home consoles. At least I don't remember. Anyway, but there's actually one more arcade, and it's a Walmart exclusive, and it has the ever favorites Galaga and Galaxian. And for those of you who remember, the bugs will come down, you shoot them, you hit that button super hard, and then, you let the one bug take your spaceship, you get the other one, you get your spaceship back, and next thing you know, you've got the John Woo double barrel, guys. And anybody who's, grew up in the 80s remembers Galaga and Galaxian. That was just good, fun times. And like I said, that's a Walmart exclusive. And so, like I said, I'll provide the link below. And right now, you can pre-order these. They'll be available sometime in late September. And you can pre-order it at Walmart, GameStop, and strangely enough, Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm not sure why those guys decided to be part of it, but hey, I'm not going to complain. I'm surprised Best Buy's not part of it. But if you go to Walmart, you can get pre-order either all of these, and you can also pre-order the Galaga and Galaxian. I will also say right now, if you go to Walmart or GameStop, you can pre-order these right now at around $300 a piece, which is actually not that bad. The original price, I don't know if it's a special or they decided to lower the price for whatever reason, but earlier it was at $400, but right now you can get each one of these for $300. That's a huge drop. That's a whole $100. You can take that $100 and buy a whole another, almost a 1/3 of another cart, But like I said, they're not the full size, and they're very easy to put together. It's like an LCD screen with a small computer attached at the end. Basically, everything else is wood paneling or some type of cheap wood plastic paneling. It doesn't take any quarters, so it's about as close as you can get to having a retro arcade in your house without spending thousands of dollars. Anyway, like I said, I'm excited for one, but I wanted to know, are you excited? Is this something you'd be interested in? Let me know. Post it in the comments below. And, if any of these games don't interest you, how about let me know what games would interest you? Would you like to see an old retro cart with all the Pac-Mans? Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr., or the old Nintendo games. For those of you out there, there was Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3. There was Popeye. There was Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. Those were all quarter munchers back in the day, and something for you to play at home. Granted, you can easily emulate it or buy it and put it on a handheld system easily or play it on your browser. But this is cool if you're a retro gamer like me. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. If you want to hear any more of my ramblings, hit that subscribe button and help me get to 200 subscribers. And if you liked it, hit that like button. But until next time, peace out, players.